When I was a kid, I was basically obsessed with internet horror. I have many memories of using my 3DS to watch things like alien/monster sightings or Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared after getting home from school. If you were to ask me where this early fascination stemmed from, my best answer would probably be creepypastas. These were essentially scary campfire stories told on internet forums, and they typically included some kind of character or concept meant to frighten you, often depicted through an attached image. This medium as a whole is generally hit or miss, since I'm pretty sure these stories are usually written by high school freshmen, but I do think some of them have held up, like Slenderman and Candle Cove. As I got older, I found myself not enjoying creepypasta content as much as I used to, and I began to move on to other things. It wasn't until 2020 when I first learned of a concept that really intrigued me: the Backrooms. Now, I don't know if the Backrooms constitutes as a creepypasta or not. I mean, it has text and there's an image to accompany it, so why not? To give you some context in case you don't know what the Backrooms is, on May 12th, 2019, a 4chan user created a thread on the X board asking for people to, quote, post disquieting images that just feel off. And the next day, another user replied with an image of a dingy, almost office-like location accompanied with a caption: if you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the Backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless noise of fluorescent lights at maximum humbuzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. For those of you who don't know, no-clipping refers to a cheat in some video games that disables collision with some objects so the player can move through geometry like walls or floors. This post presents a horrifying scenario. Imagine if you were suddenly trapped in a surreal maze consisting of seemingly endless man-made rooms with yellow wallpaper. As you're wandering around starving, looking for an exit, you'd be trying to figure out where you are and why it exists, and the longer you're in there, it's likely you'll be wondering if what you're experiencing is even real. What makes it worse is the implication of something hostile actively searching for you, and that it can even possibly hear where you are. Despite how relatively short it is, I view the original concept for the Backrooms as an essentially perfect creepypasta. The premise is unique, and it actually mildly unsettled me when I first heard about it. Clearly, I was not the only one the idea resonated with, and before you knew it, tons of people online were conceptualizing new Backrooms levels based on images of liminal spaces. If you don't know what a liminal space is,
liminal space refers to a transitional or in-between state, often physical, that evokes feelings of unease and ambiguity. It can be described as a space between what was and what's next, a time of waiting and uncertainty about the future. The term liminal comes from the Latin word limen, meaning threshold.
Basically, an empty, eerie-ass room. While some had fun making their own individual levels, some took it upon themselves to make their own adaptations of the Backrooms as a whole. One of the most well-known adaptations is the Backrooms Wiki, a community effort to create an established lore for the Backrooms where members upload their own levels, entities, phenomena, and whatnot. Yeah, I'm sorry. As cool as it is to see an active community working on something they love, I can't pretend like this isn't an oversaturated mess that lacks a uniform creative vision. One of the main mistakes, in my opinion, was making a conscious effort to include a list of named entities. I found the idea of the monster in the original 4chan post to be scary simply because it was left ambiguous. What some people who enjoy horror don't seem to realize is that the fear of the unknown can carry hard, and that's honestly part of the reason I think the horror genre as a whole is pretty hit or miss. Also, I'm pretty sure a large amount of the users on the wiki just don't understand what makes the Backrooms scary. Case in point, level 6.1, the Snack Rooms. An infinite mall cafeteria where any survivors who find it can choose from a variety of food options to regain their strength. I'm not going to explain why I have a problem with this. I know there's a good chance I'm probably coming off as overly critical or maybe even pretentious, and I'm not going to act like I know the ins and outs of good horror like I'm Alfred Hitchcock or something, but I do know when something makes me feel, well, fear. And the Backrooms Wiki does not make me feel fear. With how popular it was getting, it was inevitable that the Backrooms would reach platforms like YouTube, and on January 7th, 2022, an animation channel called Kane Pixels, real name Kane Parsons, uploaded a video titled The Backrooms Found Footage. And it didn't take long for it to absolutely blow up. It blew up for a reason too. This is really well made. Not to mention the creator was only 16 at the time of the video's release. In fact, it was so well made that Kane decided to build off of it and make an entire series which is still ongoing. And if that isn't enough, he was approached by Studio A24 to make a Backrooms film, which is currently in development with Kane co-directing it. Needless to say, I'm psyched for this movie's release. But in the meantime, I'd like to take a deep look at each video that's currently out, because this series is so rich in quality, and I will honestly take any excuse I can to rewatch it. Alright, after all that prefacing, I think it's about time we fall into the rabbit hole that is Kane Pixels Backrooms.
Hey!
Backrooms, found footage starts with a group of teenagers filming a low-budget movie of sorts, and on the clapboard they're using, you can see that the person holding the camera is named Kane Pixels. I know it's just a nod to the creator of the video, but I just can't help but find it hilarious that our protagonist seemingly came from the Pixels family. Anyway, the director, whose name is Matisse Aaron, tells Kane to back up so they can get a wide shot, when suddenly...
Yeah.
Kane finds himself surrounded by the surreal yellow walls of the Backrooms, unsure of where he is, and isolated.
Hello? Hello?
He wanders into a nearby hallway, seemingly trying to find an exit, or at the very least, someone who knows where an exit is.
Hello?
Something is watching him. Kane proceeds forward, observing the odd architecture around him when he finds a ladder leading up to a dark crawl space. He climbs up and goes through, only to arrive in a similar room. As he continues through the maze, he once again calls out for anyone.
Can anybody hear me? Hello? Damn it.
Did you catch that? It's hard to make out, but as Kane turns this corner, something can be briefly seen way in the back. Whatever it was watching him before is now quietly stalking him. Our oblivious cameraman keeps going, and eventually finds arrows drawn on the walls, which he follows. Something I find interesting that I didn't notice the first time watching is this wall over here is damaged, like someone or something was scratching off the wallpaper. The arrows lead to a wall with strange drawings on it, and writing that says, "Don't move, stay still." The life form that was following Kane makes itself known, and an intense chase ensues. Now, what this thing is called is yet to be confirmed. I hear a lot of people refer to it as bacteria, simply because Kane Pixels made a post on Ko-Fi depicting the monster with the caption, "Bacteria," but in an interview on the Smosh channel, Kane refers to it as...
Lifeform fellow.
Lifeform fellow.
Yeah, sorry guys, you gotta update the wiki now.
So I doubt it has an official name. Anyway, Kane, whose legs are somehow not broken after that fall, finds himself in a new environment that resembles a home. He tests a nearby light switch, before moving on to the next area. A hallway with wooden floors and smooth white walls.
Holy shit. What the fuck is this place? What the fuck? This isn't real. This isn't real.
After some wandering, he finds a door with an exit sign and he goes through.
You gotta be kidding me.
Once again in the yellow rooms, Kane presses onward, in pursuit of a way out of this place. A distorted wailing can be heard as our protagonist looks for a place to hide. He goes through a thin passageway and silently watches from the dark as the same abomination from earlier steps closer. Kane moves deeper into the narrow hallway until he finds a downward slope. He's aggressively taken by the creature, and his camera falls, clipping back into reality where it falls into a yard, waiting to be discovered. If you ask me, this short film is a great proof of concept. The horror is well done, and for the most part, the visuals are great. Every part of the backrooms you're seeing is CGI. This was all made in Blender, yet it looks so real, and something great about this being a series is you can see the animation getting even better as the videos go on. Something I'd like to mention is a very interesting detail found in the description. It says the date the footage was found on was September 23rd, 1996, but on the clapboard at the beginning of the video, the date says July 4th, 1991. This means that in the time Kane was in the backrooms, about 5 years had passed. Speaking of the description, it includes a link to an unlisted upload, which we're going to look at next. March 11th, 1990 archive starts with an unknown individual reformatting and loading up a previously inaccessible tar file. The video file itself depicts various areas within what can be assumed to be the backrooms, as well as shots of undisclosed technology. We eventually see a shot of a man sitting at a desk within the labyrinth, meaning that whoever made this tape is part of some kind of organization that not only knows about the backrooms, but is seemingly researching it. The next shot we see highlights a passageway in the backrooms labeled Null Zone 4. The other text is hard to make out, but it's believed to say, due to the elevation discrepancy between panel 225 and 234, a null KX field is created. Now, what this exactly means at this point in the series is ambiguous, but we are going to revisit this topic later. The last shot shows a tunnel of some kind, likely consisting of technology created by whoever is researching the backrooms. The video then fades to black and ends. Backrooms, the third test, starts by giving us a bit of a lore explanation.
On July 2nd, 1988, the ASIN research facility tested its low proximity magnetic distortion system for the third time. Details regarding the results of the experimentation have not yet been released. During a press conference held in April of 1988, Ivan Beck, vice director of the ASIN Foundation, described the intention of these tests, stating this program, if granted sufficient backing from the United States government, will offer a solution to all current and future storage and residential needs and save billions of dollars on property construction and management.
The video then shows Async trying to activate a doorway of some kind. It appears the experiment is going to work, but then... it doesn't. With this upload, we now know the name of the organization that was researching the backrooms in the previous video, and we also know that they're doing this research with industrial intent, under the leadership of a man named Ivan Beck. The date shown in the video and the description is in 1988, placing the third test about 2 years before March 11th, 1990 archive, and 3 years before Kane went missing and found footage. First Contact starts with an FBI warning, before showing us what appear to be generators of some kind. We are then shown a slide with text detailing modifications made to Async's low proximity magnetic distortion system. With these modifications in place, Async once again attempts to open the doorway. Async have now made first contact. The description of this video has a link to another unlisted upload, which we're going to look at next. Faultline.mov presents us with snippets taken from real news reports talking about the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake, better known as the World Series earthquake. This may seem random at first, until we take another look at first contact, where we can see that the door to the backrooms was opened at the same time of the earthquake. Many speculated that this meant the opening of the portal is what caused the earthquake within the lore of the series, or that the earthquake was actually the variable that finally allowed them to reach the backrooms. But on Kane Pixels' Discord server, he went on to say that both of these theories were wrong. He also stated that during the time of the earthquake, Async experienced a widespread power overload, so it's likely this resulted in the connection between Earth and the backrooms being unstable, which is probably what caused Kane to fall in 2 years later. While we're on this general topic, I'd like to bring up the fact that Kane will occasionally use his Discord server to clarify or retcon certain lore elements. Before it's too late, I'd like to quickly list 2 of these clarifications that pertain to videos I've already covered. Number 1. The final shot of found footage is no longer canon. That's just how it is, I guess. Number 2. Async did not create the backrooms. Their operation only opened a door to an already existing labyrinth. From this point on, I'll bring up more of these clarifications if they apply to the upload I'm currently discussing. Speaking of which, time to discuss the next video. Taking place on February 3rd, 1990, about 4 months after first contact, Missing Persons starts by showing us numerous posters for, well, missing persons. The first one shown is actually a small cameo by another YouTuber named Nathan Barnett, who runs his own web series called Dad, which actually includes some visual effects done by Kane Pixels. Anyway, the video seems to imply that the individuals on the posters fell into the backrooms, which is already concerning, but it gets even worse when we see that one of these is of a 2-year-old. We are then shown a missing persons line graph, which remains somewhat stagnant until late 1989 when the portal was opened. The rates of missing people start going up drastically, and we're shown a projection of how the number is expected to continue and get worse in the future. The video then suddenly cuts to the POV of a group of Async hazmats conducting a small expedition into the backrooms. They explore the surreal environment around them, leaving a trail for them to follow back. Their journey takes them through a hallway, which leads them to finding something that surprises them.
Stop. Hold it. I don't know. But it makes no sense. Why would they do it? Then completely. This makes no sense.
Many have speculated that the corpse they find is that of Nicholas Bolton, but nothing is confirmed. The person recording takes a closer look at the messy substance surrounding the body.
It's organic. Is some kind of fungus?
The mirrored text at the end says, "If anybody, blame him." Could the person who's reviewing this tape be including hidden messages? And if so, are they blaming Ivan Beck for the disappearances caused by the backrooms? Taking place on February 29th, 1990, less than a month after Missing Persons, Informational video starts with a presentation.
Welcome to the Project KV-31 Research and Development Team. In this short, informative video, you will be briefed on the required protocol in regard to Project KV-31, as well as receive an overview of future development plans. What is Project KV-31? Project KV-31 pertains to the study and development of the async low-proximity magnetic distortion system. For the sake of convenience, you may hear your peers refer to the project under any of the following titles: The Machine, The Door, The Back Rooms, The Complex, Hallways.
I cannot tell you enough how thankful I am for this. By now I've said the word backrooms more times than I can count, and now I have an official list of alternatives I can use. Anyway.
Unauthorized usage of these terms outside of the async research facility is strictly prohibited. The threshold without guided supervision. Never enter the complex alone. All expeditions are to be comprised of no fewer than 3 individuals.
The video then cuts to what seems to be a standard async expedition into the complex. The expedition group consists of Ronald McCarthy, George Levy, Marvin E. Lay, and the cameraman, Peter Tench. After a bit of exploration, Peter hears odd noises coming from a nearby hallway.
Guys, can you hear this? Hey guys, can you hear this? Hey! Guys. Guys? George?
He's now alone and desperately retracing his steps. As he wanders, he finds himself deeper in the maze, coming across areas he didn't know about prior. Something I think is worth mentioning is this wallpaper appears to be warped, likely due to the anomalous nature of how the complex generates its environments. After an unknown amount of time, Peter manages to find the large room that's directly attached to the threshold. However, when he reaches the threshold, he finds a door to a man-made structure that wasn't there before.
Hello? Hey!
Taking place on February 5th, 1990, just 2 days after missing persons, Autopsy report presents us with information about the corpse found by Async.
Subject is male, somewhere between 18 and 21 years old. I estimate that the time of death was around 5 days ago, but due to the severe tissue damage, it's hard to say for sure. The cause of death was likely malnutrition. I was able to recover most of the digestive tract. So, as things start to deviate from what we would consider to be natural, the decomposition process appears to have been stunted somehow. It's like portions of the body stopped decaying and and were sustained. Other areas, however, were completely overtaken by culture. So, I took a couple samples of some of the material here. At first, I thought it was an aggregated collection of Pseudomonas fluorescens, but it seems to be closer to a mutated strain of simple hay bacillus, which it should be completely benign, but, well, really, I don't know what to make of this. Mr. Beck, may I ask where this subject came from?
After this, we're shown a TV that depicts imagery from previous videos, and at the end, the threshold and complex are shown with an ominous glow. Now, I'm not going to pretend to understand advanced biology, but the facts presented to us indicate that this corpse was briefly a host for a bacteria of some kind. This has many implications, but we're going to revisit this topic later on. Taking place on March 5th, 1990, not too long after Informational video, Motion Detected starts by showing us that Async are starting to make renovations within the complex. We're then told that they've set up 7 cameras that'll start recording upon detecting sound or motion. We're shown exactly where each camera is placed before being presented with everything captured on the night of March 5th. At 7:39 p.m., 3 researchers pass by one of the cams, and at 8:26 p.m., they're shown returning. At 9:02 p.m., camera 6 captures a supervisor who passes by. 12 minutes later, at 9:14 p.m., the threshold barrier can be heard being closed. At 1:06 a.m., a sound is detected that is labeled, "To be discussed." At 2:13 a.m., a camera is set off due to a microphone failure. At 3:53 a.m., motion is detected. What appears to be a pair of legs is phasing through the wall. Taking place on May 10th, 1982, years before any of the other videos we've seen, Prototype starts with a few cinematic shots consisting of trees, a doorway, and some kind of machine with a marble in the center. We're then shown an experiment involving said machine at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, under the supervision of someone named Philip R. Heyman. When the machine is activated, the marble in the center seems to disappear. Kane Pixels has clarified that the marble did not disappear, but instead was displaced, meaning it's likely the first object to enter the backrooms. Taking place on May 6th, 1990, about a month after Motion Detected, Pitfalls starts by telling us that the following footage was recorded by Marvin E. Lay, one of the researchers from Informational video. When the footage begins, we see a group of researchers consisting of George Levy, also from Informational video, Mark Bloom, someone named Kim, and of course Marvin, equipping their gear for yet another expedition into the complex.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Mark, mic check. You're all good. This is Marv, 123. Marv, mic check, 123.
Before going through the threshold, Marvin looks back to see a man watching them from above. When he steps through, we can see that Async has finished the renovations they were working on and motion detected, and it appears to be the same room that Peter Tench entered at the end of Informational video. As the group walks through the hub room they've familiarized themselves with, they discuss work-related matters, including an upcoming presentation.
Has the vertical expansion been approved yet?
They're not getting to that until after the presentation.
When does that go through?
Sorry, can you repeat?
What day will the tour be over?
From the 7th to the 10th.
When they reach a certain point, they begin to drill a spool into the floor so they can leave a trail behind. Pathfinding wire in hand, they navigate through an unexplored section of the complex.
Oh, wow. This is new.
Seeing the door on the other side of the room, Mark decides to cross over to see what's behind it. When he reaches the door, he opens it and we can see a greenish light emanating from the room. Taken aback by whatever he's seeing, he urges Marvin to bring the camera across the pits to document the phenomenon. While Marvin's making his way across, a secret message suddenly pops on screen that says, "While data could be inferred from these readings, nobody knew what would actually be found on the other side." He then slips and falls into one of the pits, and finds himself in an area with similar wallpaper to the area they were just in.
Marvin, do you copy?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Oh, thank Christ. Are you injured?
I think I pulled something in my shoulder. I'm a bit dizzy, but no, I'm fine.
Where are you? Can you describe your surroundings?
It's different. Like a room up there, but the architecture's the same, but the wallpaper is different. It's a bit greener.
He tries to climb up to the hole he came out of, but is unable to reach it. Kim then tells him to stand by and wait for help, and Mark emphasizes the importance of documenting whatever he saw behind the door.
The tunnel I fell from. The opening comes out through the wall, but it's too high.
Okay, just stand by and stay put for a moment.
Got it.
Is the camera intact?
Seems to be fine. I'm recording, but who knows what the output will be like.
Mark, make your way back over to this side. Carefully. Do you have another camera? I need to get this.
Throw down the guideline with the weight attached. I can use it to climb up.
Just tried that. There won't be enough length to reach you. George, go right back to standard and bring a tether. Hang in there, Marv.
What was that?
What was what?
I don't know.
I didn't hear anything up here.
Sounded like... I think there's somebody down here.
Marvin hears a voice calling out, and he decides to investigate, going through a warped hallway toward the voice.
The left hallway ends right there, under the gap in the wall.
You need to stay at the hole. George will be back any minute, then we can assess the situation from there. Shh.
But what if Miller's right about the null zones?
I believe this quote right here confirms that null zones, originally mentioned in March 11th, 1990 archive, are spots that connect the backrooms to Earth, or Standard, as Async calls it. I interpret this line as Marvin addressing the possibility of civilians falling into the backrooms as a result of null zones, and that's why he's inclined to go toward the voice, because it could be someone who needs help. Marvin continues to walk through the surreal crimson-lit street, and he hears the voice again, coming from a specific house.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Anything?
I'm entering one of the houses. I can see where the yelling's coming from.
Okay. This is odd.
There are inverted turn signs in this room, coming out of the carpet.
They're inverted? What do you mean by that?
Mirrored. They're not oriented properly.
I think I'm losing you. Just stand by.
Marvin, 403, do you copy? Repeat, Marvin, do you copy?
This is Marv?
Okay. Good, we read you.
Something worth mentioning here is when he steps into this room, you can hear a radio playing a snippet from a 2010 interview regarding the US's relations with Cuba, playing into the same theme of time distortion introduced in Backrooms' found footage. Speaking of found footage, multiple walls in this area have sustained scratches similar to that one wall briefly seen in that video.
What?
I think someone's been living down here.
Living down there? That's not possible.
Hey! Can you hear me? I think I got him.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Marvin?
That's not a person.
What is it?
That is not a fucking person!
What? Marvin, talk to me. What do you see? What's going on? Talk to us. What's happening? Marvin! Come in! George, it's an idiot! Marvin, what's going on? Suitcase. Here, hold it like this. George.
Okay, I'm here. Set it down.
George, one more. Gonna take a moment. Grab it like, yeah, hold it. Okay. Good. Okay. Stand clear. We're setting it down.
That's where Pitfalls ends, but there's still something I want to talk about that relates to this video. When Marvin finds the area the monster is residing in, he notes that it seems like someone was living there, and in found footage, Kane encounters the monster close to where there's writing on the wall. So far, we've only seen these monsters hanging around areas where there was once human activity. If you don't already know where I'm going with this, many people who theorize about this series, including myself, are of the belief that the hostile lifeforms grow out of the corpses of those who get lost in the backrooms. If we take another look at Autopsy report, it's mentioned that the decomposition was stunted on certain parts of the corpse Async found. It's likely this was done so the foreign bacteria living within him could have a suitable vessel to grow and develop in, similar to how the infant xenomorphs from Alien reside within living people before making their violent exit. If this is the case, that means there's possibly one of these lifeforms wandering around the same general area of the complex that Async found the body in. There's still a good chunk of this series left for me to talk about, but I thought this would be a good place to stop for now. I stand by my opinion that this is the best horror series on YouTube, and so far, I've had a lot of fun talking about and analyzing Kane Pixels Backrooms. If you enjoyed the video, I recommend subscribing so you can catch the next parts when they come out. With that said, thank you for watching.